Hello, friends. Hello, hello. My name is Janessa Oriel. I'm the head of community here at Sell with Amy, and it is month end. And I know you know this. This is probably my least favorite day to go live or to have a Thursday live, primarily because I know today is likely filled with regular work because it's a work day for those who work in general. Those who are wrangling children, trying to hit numbers, trying to make sure your team hits numbers. So today is one of those days that I recognize you may not see this live, and that's okay. We'll address everybody who's here to be able to watch it live. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those who are here for our hashtag after party, and maybe you're seeing it on the last day of the month, and maybe you're seeing it in the days that follow. Sometimes these trainings get seen after the fact, and we totally understand that. So I'm going to make sure to address both situations. Because for those who are crunching for month end, I recognize you want to be able to hit your numbers and you want your team to be able to hit their numbers as well. And I want to point out that you have an incredible tool here with Sell with Amy, of course, to be able to help you hit those goals and stay hyper focused. Hi, Tanya. The reason I say that is literally everything within Sell with Amy is an income producing activity. It's building relationships. It's not just marketing. And I want to talk a little bit about the difference between marketing and building relationships. Because everything is catered to your customers, to their purchases, to your working relationship with them. Everything here, all these to-dos are going to encourage you to connect with your customers in a genuine and authentic way, as opposed to, hey, it's the end of the month. I need to hit my goals. Can I hit 2000 in sales? I'd love if you're interested in my pineapple store. I'd love you to be able to buy something right now so that way I can hit my goals. We don't want to do that, friends. That's not an ideal situation, and it's something that we see and I understand because it's coming from a place of I have to do this, but you really want to encourage your customers to you really want to make it about your customers because you want it to be a genuine relationship as opposed to a help me hit my goals, right? Because people are going to want to join your team if you're genuinely caring about them and their interests. So I entitled this Watch Me Work. Let's do a little bit of work here. As you can see, I've tackled a few to-dos already. Let me make sure I'm pointing in the right spot. Tackled a few to-dos already. Let's go ahead. This re-engage past customers is sort of a dreaded to-do section. Am I right? So if you're watching this, whether it's live or on the replay, give me a thumbs up or some hearts. That's a half a heart. The other one is there. Heart. To let me know if that is the case for you. If you avoid that particular to do like the plague, right? Probably not the best uh, use of that phrase. Hi, Caroline. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send messages out to these individuals fairly quickly and easily. When I dive into this, the message templates are already prepped and ready for you. So when you go in here, it says say hi to Lucy. It's been 7 months since they've ordered. So it's time, right? It's time to connect with Lucy. I can take the time and I can look at all of this information. I can see that they're a customer. We had coffee together sometime in 2020. Lucy loves baking. Lucy's a teacher and in my VIP group. So I can take a look at all of this. Selena says, I'm so behind on to-dos this month and last month. It's gotten away from me. Friend, it's the end of the third quarter and I'm not quite sure how we got here. And so I totally understand. And I want you to remember when you have a stack of to-dos, not to stress out, but to jump in. Just a few to-dos will get you a little bit farther. And again, it's going to continue to build the relationships. And right now, with it being the end of the third quarter, we're about to jump into that sales season. And you don't want to go into the end of October with a stack of to-dos that potentially could have been, if they were handled earlier in the month or even in September, right? That could have led to more sales for the typical sales season. So I'm here, I'm cheering you on. Hi, Shirley. Let's go ahead and take care of this to do. So again, I'm looking at this. I see all this information, loves baking. So I'm just gonna, I know that, I'm aware of it. When I go ahead and text it, I can see it's been a while since we talked. I wanted to see hello and check in to see how you're doing. Now, because Lucy loves baking, I'm actually going to modify this message template and check in to see what you've been baking, right? So I just personalized that to Lucy. That's going to build a relationship. Now, am I going to do that for everyone? Probably not. Depends on how much time I have, right? In this situation, I have 5 to 10 minutes to do this training, so we're going to do exactly that. So in this case, I don't have a whole lot of information on Kristen. I'm just going to shoot that here, hey, and I'm going to leave the same message template because I don't have any way to personalize this. So I last reached out on June 24th. I'm just going to text to say, hey, sending this out. Oops, I clicked back to all the to-dos. Sometimes that happens. It's been 11 months since Louise ordered, so it's probably about time that Louise is interested in more stuff. I want to, their wish list is the art print and welcome mat. I'm actually going to go ahead and personalize this from the teacher perspective. So I'm going to say how school is going, right? Relationship building, friends, relationship building. And as soon as they see your name, they're going to think, oh, yeah, I need to connect. Oh, yeah, I need this for my classroom, or I need this for my kitchen, or I need this for my routine, or I'm out of whatever, right? So I'm just, if it's generic, in this case, I can go ahead and email and send, and I'm going to send it without, because normally I would add a subject line, but in this case, I'm just moving along. So this particular customer hasn't made a purchase in a long time. I'm going to text Ann Perkins. All right, here's April. Again, these customers, they've not made a purchase since August of 2021. So it's been not too long, but I'm still going to connect and see if they need anything. And Andy Dwyer, you can see, headed to New York. How was New York? Right? And in this case, I wanted to see how was New York. So you can personalize these. Depends on how long your message template is to see how long it takes. How New York was. Relationship building. Okay. So quickly, this one I'm going to dismiss because I don't want to reach out to her in this situation. And I'm going to dismiss this too. I'm making that choice. And Sencha, the text. There we go. So I tackled all those 11 to-dos and I chatted my way through it and I personalized some of them and I didn't personalize other ones. That's the goal and that's the ability of message templates allow you, once you set them, to sound like you, but genuinely build those relationships. So let me see who's saying hi. We have Jean here. Hi, Jean. And Caroline's saying hi to Shirley. We got friends here. Friends. Sarah says, how do we get more than 5 in this category? I can only get 5 a day. Thank you so much, Sarah, for asking this question. Lower right-hand corner is the account tab. I'm going to select that. Under to-do preferences, I'm going to make sure I'm pointing to the right spot. Under to-do preferences right here, we're going to open that up. And then here, where it says, and this is where you read, right? So I am re-engage past customers, okay? So re-engage past customers, reach out again after a last order. You can decide how many weeks, and then number of prompts to connect with the customers who haven't ordered in 3+ months. You can increase this here. I think the default is 5. The default's 5. I have 15. There we go. Okay, so right in this section, the re-engage past customers. And if you're not tackling these, then they'll just sort of sit there, right? They'll sit and hang. And so we don't want them to sit and hang. Ideally, I say it again and again, but that's okay. We're here talking about to-dos. We're talking about income producing activities at the month end. I want you to see your to-dos as dishes. If you see them as dishes, the more you do them, the more there will be. But in general, if you're doing those to-dos, you're building those relationships, your customers are more comfortable connecting with you, and they may ignore you. I want you to know your customers may, oh, you thought that meant how many days? Yes, 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 yes. That's how you do it. You're set, Sarah. I'm happy you asked that question. Thank you so much. If you have a question in your live, please ask it. I'm happy to answer it live here. If you're watching on our hashtag after party, which is what we call our replay, then please know that we will also answer your questions after, just in typing form as opposed to live. So tackle those to-dos today. It's month end, get them done. Selena, I'm looking at you if they've been stacking, right? But I say that with a genuine heart. And then I also alluded to, how do we make sure that we're not having to cram the last day of the month? How can you make it so maybe someone's payday is tomorrow? Tomorrow's the first of the month, right? They're not going to be able to buy today to help you in this month, but maybe they can help you tomorrow. How can you set up October to make sure that you're not sitting here up until midnight, and depending on your company, a number of companies go midnight Pacific Standard Time. You're not up until midnight, or for East Coasters, 3 a.m., genuinely trying to connect with people on the West Coast to be able to order those last minute orders, right? We don't want you to do that. We really want you to go into the last day of the month being there for your team as opposed to pushing for your own personal goals. So how do you do that? One is you treat your to-dos like dishes and you tackle them every day. For our friends with partnerships, you automatically have all those orders in and all the information into Sell with Amy, you lucky ducks. For our friends that don't have partnerships, you don't have that information automatically added, but you can add those orders. Add the orders as soon as you get the email or notification that you've made a sale, right? Whether you get an email every time you get a sale or whether or not you're logging into your back office, your workstation, whatever you call it, once you know you have an order, ideally you'll spend the 2 minutes or so it takes to enter that order. And that 2 minutes should include entering the customer's information. You want to make sure that you have more than just name and email, ideally, but name, email, Facebook, if you connect with people via Facebook, and ideally their cell phone number, right? Enter that information in and then log their order. You want to make sure that you have those orders logged. And if you've been behind on logging orders, we totally understand. Absolutely. But if you create that consistency and then tackle your to-dos and spend genuinely 5 to 15 minutes a day in the app, and this is for our friends who don't have partnerships. For our friends that have partnerships, even with a really busy and successful business, right? Like top leaders, top sales every month, it can take, we have friends that get hundreds of orders and they can tackle Amy in 30 minutes a day. I'm saying that genuinely because there are friends that they have partnerships, so they have a little bit of a benefit. Now, if you get hundreds of orders a day, you recognize, or sorry, a month, we recognize that takes more time if you don't have partnership, but I can say it with partnership. For our friends that are working a successful business and in leadership and don't have partnership, 15 minutes a day in Amy will do wonders for you. That includes logging the orders, that includes following up on the orders that you're logging. Genuinely, if you can extend the month-end crunch throughout the month, build those relationships throughout the month, you likely will tackle all of your sales in the first half of the month. I almost said third, but that can be, it depends, right? It depends on limited time offers. It depends on what your company is offering. It depends on how your company is helping you provide exciting opportunities to genuinely connect with your customers that are interested in those opportunities. And I say that because if something new comes out and if I send something new out, if I send something that is about baking to our friend, and I forgot who that was. You know how I can find out? Let's do it really quick. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go into categories. I'm going to scroll down to loves baking. If something new for baking comes up and I send it to these 4 individuals, I'm going to get worlds more interest and people are going to be more engaged because I'm sending them something that's related to baking specifically to these people who I know loves baking. Now, if I send something that was released for those that like baking to my entire list, the people who are not interested in baking and don't have time, or maybe aren't home, or maybe travel, or maybe work out of that, like work and they travel for work, so there's like no time for baking, they're not going to be interested and they're going to ignore my communications, right? So we want to make sure that we're genuinely sending interesting things to people who are interested. We want to build those relationships. We want to make sure that when you're connecting with people, you are connecting with them in a way that they want to be connected with. You're connecting with them consistently, so you're not coming out of left field. Some of the people that I just sent to-dos to or sent messages to, it had been a year since I had connected with them, but I'm genuinely saying, how's it going? I'm personalizing those messages if I have some additional details in their contact profile, and I'm having the ability to let them know I see them and I care, right? Yesterday or the day before, I shared in our Sell with Amy community, or sorry, Sell with Amy hashtag powered by Amy community. I asked for those who have been using Amy for a long time, what is one tip that you would offer? And we had some really great tips there. I encourage you to, friends, share here if you haven't shared there, or both, share in both locations. But one of the things that I saw, someone recommended when you go in here, make sure you are utilizing these. Make sure you're utilizing these custom tags here. Make sure you're saying, you're connecting and you're creating these custom labels so you have a genuine idea of what their likes are, what their dislikes are, what you can connect with them on, and how you can build those relationships. If you bring up loves baking, they're going to be like, how do they remember that? Right? Awesome. So again, month end, you've got it. Tackle those to-dos, get those orders logged if they're not already in Sell with Amy. And then starting in October, Q4, the end of the year, right? The end of the year starts tomorrow. Woo! I encourage you to go ahead, make sure as you're connecting with people, you're updating these custom labels and you're connecting with people and you're spending 5 to 15 minutes a day within Sell with Amy and see what that does for your fourth quarter sales and for your year, right? To wrap up 2021. So you've got this. I believe in you. Please update. Let me know how it's going through month end in the comments. I would love to be able to cheer you on through the rest of the afternoon and evening. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. I'll see you next week when we're in October and we'll talk about how to maximize holiday sales and how to set yourself up for success. Thanks, friends. We'll see you later.